Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here with my weekly comic book review. These comic books came out January 8th, 2014. Let's get started with Marvel. First off, Young Avengers number 15. Finally, this series is over. I'll be on. Okay, pretty much in this issue, it just pretty much continues our little epilogue. Pretty much our little epilogue that began last issue. With all the young Marvel superheroes having a little New Year's Eve party. Tommy made an appearance at the end, and it's revealed in this issue how it happened, because apparently the fake Patriot appears and Prodigy speaks to him with a theory about he has about who fake Patriot really is. Apparently, according to Prodigy, whatever Billy does in the future that alters reality or whatever, it somehow creates this sort of echo which takes the form of fake Patriot, and it could be possible that one of the Young Avengers in the future gives up their existence to take the form of fake Patriot to make sure whatever Billy does comes to pass, like just stays in the past and make sure everything lines up correctly. And in this case, I guess it was trying to get Prodigy on the team. So anyways, when it hits midnight, Prodigy kisses fake Patriot. Then suddenly, fake Patriot is replaced with Tommy, who's back and heads right to the party. Meets with Kate, which we saw last issue and stuff. Pretty much after the party, the team then decides to go get some breakfast. And meanwhile, earlier in the issue, Prodigy did see Loki hanging out near the outside and spoke to him. But at the end of the issue, we see Loki scrolling through the Instagram photos he took throughout the series, and when he gets to one where it's like all the Young Avengers together for during their little adventure, he likes it, and that's where the issue ends. Okay, I'll be honest. Young Avengers, I was not really a fan of this series as it progressed. I mean, I love the Young Avengers. I think they're a great teen superhero team. They're one of my favorites, but this series just really, I don't know, it didn't capture that. It just felt more like teenagers with superpowers more than a teen superhero book, if you can understand my logic. Because, in a way, it was just like, the team was like dealing with young adult problems while also trying to save the world, with saving the world being the sort of back burner project, I guess. I mean, I think if you want to read a book about teenagers who have superpowers and they are superheroes, but it's not superhero-ish, then you would like this book. Then you would like Kieran Gillen's Young Avengers. But if not, if you're a fan of the Young Avengers era before this, then I would say just honestly skip it, because. And, if they do bring this series back, I hope they get another writer. I hope it's definitely a lot more. I hope it's a lot more superhero oriented. It's not just, our heroes dealing with young adult problems. That's what it felt like to me. And I don't know. I hope we get someone who invokes the same spirit who invokes the same spirit of the previous era that we had back when it was back when it was the team with Patriot and Snatcher and stuff. But while Snatcher's dead and Patriot's retired, so I kind of hope if they do bring back Young Avengers, I really would like to see them getting Patriot back on the team if he gets out of retirement. That would be great. And also, I hope it's a writer who understands that they're not just teenagers with superpowers; they're also superheroes. Okay, that's it. Alright, next up, all new X Factor #1. Okay, pretty much, the issue opens up with Gambit stealing a statue. Suddenly, though, Wolverine comes in, who says that he got a call, who says that the guy who Gambit's stealing from is from Tony Stark, and he alerted. And Wolverine found out about it. He went to go speak to Gambit, and pretty much Wolverine just scolds Gambit, telling him you can't go off doing your little side thief jobs now. You can't, and he also knows that Gambit is now apparently leader of the Thieves Guild, and he tells him that, you know, he can't be doing this crap because he's an X-Men and he's also a teacher at the Jean Grey School, and he notes that Gambit is hardly there. He has students that needs guidance or stuff, and Logan's pretty much just putting his foot down. So pretty much after that talking to from Wolverine, Gambit goes to a bar where he's visited by Polaris, who takes him to Serval Industries HQ, where she introduces him to CEO Harrison Snow, who tells Gambit that he's putting together a new X Factor to be this sort of corporate-sponsored superhero team. And basically, Snow's just giving Gambit, like, you know, we're a company that does a lot of stuff business-wise, like internet. We were an internet search engine, but now we've expanded. Now we want to help people, and we figured, you know, having a corporate-sponsored superhero team would help with that goal. And then Snow introduces Polaris and Gambit to the other member of their team, Quicksilver, whose introduction is a little more short than what we got for Gambit. But anyways, then the trio. Then so far, what we have, the new X Factor so far is sent on a mission to go save some kidnapped mutants who are being studied by a biologist who's working for AIM, who's doing like these radical dissections on mutants. And that's where what happens in this issue. Okay, alright, first of all, when this book was announced, a lot of people were excited because it's written by Peter David, who did the last X Factor series, and also he was the X Factor writer long ago, back when all the original 5 X-Men quit X Factor and it became a government-sponsored team led by Havoc and Polaris. So I think that got a lot. So this was I would say this was a very hyped up book. The thing is, though, I'd still consider myself a novice David X Factor reader, because I only read two trades of the 90s X Factor when it was Havoc and Polaris, and also I do plan on getting the first Ultimate volume for the previous X Factor series when it was Private Investigations led by Jamie Madrox, which comes out next month. But you know, other than that, I'm fairly new to X Factor, and so far I think this issue really was focused more on Gambit than the other two. I mean, obviously, I think if you read Peter David's previous X Factor run, then you obviously know where Polaris is. Quicksilver, I guess, too, because I think he was in the title. But yeah, I think this issue is just pretty much trying to tell people who were getting this book because of Gambit that, you know, what's going on with him, a little bit of what's going on with him and why he's joining this. Pretty much right now, what I got from this issue is that if Gambit has to choose between X Factor and the X-Men, I would say he should go with X Factor, because honestly, Gambit's cool and everything, but I think he would be a lot better on. But I think he would be a lot better on the X Factor rather than X-Men if he has to be a teacher, because I really can't see Gambit as a teacher that much, unless he's teaching kids how to steal. But I don't think that's something you want to teach at school. Anyways, overall, I would say X Factor #1 is, right now, I'm still going to wait for the first story arc. Also, the issue itself, I would say borrow it from a friend. Alright, moving on to DC Comics. First comic though, this is something I really wasn't sure I wanted to get, but I bought it anyway, and I decided, and you know what, I really enjoyed it. It is Detective Comics #27. This is pretty much the 70th, DC said that last year, 2013, was the 75th anniversary of Superman, so that was Superman's year. Now it's 2014, Batman turns 75 this year, so it's all about Batman this year. And then next year we're gonna have the movie where the big two are gonna fight each other. But for now, you're the Batman. And how do they celebrate it? Well, since number 20, issue 27 of Detective Comic, of the second Detective Comics series came out this month, they figured, why not make that this anniversary issue, since that was Batman's first appearance in the very first Detective Comics series, like back in 1939, Detective Comics #27, so they decided to do the same thing. This is pretty much a bunch of This is just an anniversary issue. It is a bunch of stories written by a lot of Batman writers and artists. It's not really like a big issue, but it's like different like little one-off Elseworlds type of stories. First off, we have a retelling of the original Detective Comics number 27. Like it's not the exact same story. It's just a little bit with things that are updated and stuff like technology, etc. And then we have another story where the Phantom Stranger visits Batman and shows him what his life and what Gotham City would be like if his parents had lived and he had never been Batman. And it's not just about the joy Bruce has about having his parents back; it's also the consequences of a world without Batman. And ongoing wise, there is the first part to the Gothtopia story arc. So if you're gonna read that, then that's something you should get out of this issue. And then we get and then the last story, which is written by Scott Snyder, that this sort of future where apparently Bruce cloned himself and has done so a number of times, and now so that Gotham will always have a Batman and it will always kind of be Bruce Wayne. Okay, Detective Comics number 27. This is pretty expensive. It's $8. So if you really love Batman, of course everyone does, he's Batman, he's awesome. And if you really want to go ahead and spend $8 on this issue, then I say go for it. I mean, if you really feel like you want to spend $8 on a Batman comic because you really love Batman, then yeah, go ahead. But yeah, if you don't want to, that's fine. I would say if you can't afford it, borrow the issue from a friend. But overall, I think this was a great way to celebrate Batman's anniversary, and I don't think we're gonna stop. I think there will be some other I'm pretty sure DC will have a few other Batman and other anniversary surprises soon. Technically, Batman appeared in May 1939, so maybe around that month we'll have a lot more Bat stuff. But right now, Detective Comics Volume 2, number 27, it was definitely a good anniversary issue. I do recommend it to Batman fans that you pick it up. If you can't afford it, then borrow it from a friend. Alright, now it's time for Green Lantern number 27. Okay, the Shapeshifters at the end of last issue, apparently they're Durlans, like a Chameleon Boy from the Legion of Superheroes. And the Durlans are apparently working with the Braidmen, and when the Lanterns bring the Braidmen to Mogo for imprisonment, some of them break off, some of them escape from the Science Cells with the Durlans, and they pretty much go to the command office where Hal Jordan is, and they basically just knock him out with one hit. Then one of the Durlans takes the form of Hal Jordan and makes a broadcast across the universe saying that, and tells everyone about how there's a reservoir of light in the universe and how every ring wielder takes energy away from the reservoir, and eventually when it runs out, will mean the end of the universe. And then he says, you think the Green Lantern Corps are going to stop, right? Wrong. We're actually going to stop every other ring wielder, and those who don't listen to us are going to end up like this, are going to end up like the planet they had their recent battle on last issue. So it's kind of like, so pretty much, and then when Hal Jordan wakes up, the Braidmen and the Durlans who attacked him set off a bomb, and then they escape. And right after they do this, suddenly Hal gets a call from like every other sector, GL station in different sectors that they're all under attack. Okay, so apparently now this is a part of a bigger scheme where apparently these enemies, where I think the Durlans and the Braidmen are obviously working for someone else, and what they want is apparently to discredit the Green Lantern Corps, and they do that by taking what Hal Jordan's plan sort of out of context. When Hal Jordan said it, it was like, we have to do this to help preserve the reservoir. But when Durlan Hal Jordan says it, it's like, it's more like he's saying it in the tone that we're right, you're wrong, we should be in control. So yeah, honestly, this issue still kind of, I'm on the fence about it. Like, it was wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it didn't like wow me. So I would say, right now, Green Lantern, things are, I don't know. I think in order to get this, you would have to fully understand the whole reservoir thing. You would have to read all of Lights Out. Unfortunately, I did not. I couldn't afford the other Lantern titles to get the Lantern titles at the time, so I think I'm going to wait and pick up the trade when it comes out. But overall, overall, I would say Green Lantern number 27 is another borrow it from a friend. Alright, next up, one of my favorite comic books from 2013, Green Arrow. Alright, now pretty much this issue is just like every other issue of Green Arrow and every episode of Arrow, where we have flashbacks and a present day story. And now in our flashbacks, we see after Oliver crashed on the island, he was taken and tortured by these guys who are obeying orders from this huge guy with a tribal mask. And and pretty much eventually, though, Oliver, when there's just one guy left in the room who's about to torture Oliver again, Oliver's monologue tells him that this is the moment I stopped being a rich boy, spoiled rich boy, and did whatever it took to survive. And he pretty much just like headbutts the guy, fights back, breaks out, escapes, and goes into the jungle of the island, and that's where our flashbacks end. In the present, we get to where we last left off with Oliver and Shadow at the sort of altar for the Green Arrow from the Arrow clan. When they get there, though, they discover the Green Arrow is gone, and then the Shield clan shows up and attacks them. Fortunately, though, even though their normal arrows don't do much damage because the guys all have shields, Oliver is able to get the upper hand once again by using his trick arrows. And right when he does this, he tells Shadow, "Don't ever mock the trick arrows." I agree, Oliver. After that, I always thought that, I will say this, with Green Arrow, sometimes I thought some trick arrows were a little gimmicky and out there, but now, I gotta admit, I do have a little more respect for the trick arrows. A few of them, at least. But after they take care of all the henchmen, they have to deal with, I believe, the leader of the Shield clan, who shows up and attacks them. Fortunately, though, Kodiak, that's what Shadow called him. And Oliver pretty much is able to distract him, and he and Shadow are able to escape into the jungle. And right when they do this, though, Shadow, they run into the shack where Oliver was in the flashbacks that we saw this issue. And Shadow is still trying to convince Oliver that, you didn't wind up on the island by accident. All of this was planned. You know there's a connection here. And Oliver still doesn't believe her. But then suddenly, the guy in the tribal mask that we saw in the flashbacks shows up again, and he says, "No, Oliver, she's right. No, Oliver, she's right." And the dude takes off his mask and reveals his identity. And his identity is, spoiler alert, Oliver's dad. Yep, Oliver's dad is alive, and apparently he was the one who tortured his son. Of course, though, he tells Oliver that he wanted to protect him from Emerson, and says that he's sorry, son, and says that he's sorry about it and stuff, and that's where the issue ends. The reveal that Oliver's dad was actually behind him landing on the island. So yeah, pretty big revelation. Okay, Green Arrow. This series is amazing me. Okay, Jeff Lemire writing on this title is great. He has been killing it on this title. I've loved it. It's amazing. And also, I don't know who the artist. Okay, Andrea Sorrentino. I think she's the artist. I mean, okay, I want to comment on artwork because the way they drew Oliver's dad is exactly like pre-New 52 Green Arrow. He looks like an older Oliver Queen, and he's sporting the classic Green Arrow goatee too. So that was fun. That was really hilarious. Because I know when they rebooted Green Arrow, they didn't give him the goatee, and I think that made a lot of people upset. But trust me, when you read this issue and you get to the last page, you see Oliver's dad, you'll think he looks exactly like Green Arrow did before the New 52. Seriously, I thought that was great. I thought that was a nice little Easter egg they did. Oh man, Green Arrow. Okay, overall, Green Arrow is the best, is really one of my favorites of DC series out right now. I don't know what they're doing with the Outsiders War. Oh yeah, fans of Katana, you should know also that Katana makes an appearance in this issue. She's pretty much visited by Oliver's sort of ally, Magus, who, you know, has the scars on his eyes. He visits her and tells her that he needs her help with with the Outsiders and stuff. So I don't know what Katana's role is in this, but apparently she's involved somehow. So yeah, if you're a fan of the Katana ongoing series right now, it does tie into this. Wait, is Katana series still going on? If you're a fan of that solo title, you should definitely check out Green Arrow because she will be involved with that. So crossover in the future, who knows? But yeah, overall, I do like but really, I like this series a lot, and like I said, it is a lot like the episodes of Arrow because we get flashbacks to Oliver's days on the island and also what's going on with him in the present. And in this case, the way they focus on the island so much does remind me of the TV series, because on the TV series, they pretty much expanded the whole concept that the island is more than just where Oliver Queen learned how to survive. It's where all this other stuff happened, and they're basically doing the same thing here with this, but with the Outsiders War and everything, by revealing that apparently the island is the hiding spot of this ancient Arrow and stuff. Overall, Jeff Lemire is doing a great job on this title. He's made this one of the best series DC Comics has out there right now. If you are a fan of Arrow, if you're a fan of Green Arrow, if you just became a fan of Green Arrow by watching the Arrow TV series, you owe it to yourself to pick up this book. It is awesome. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. Green Arrow is definitely a buy. Okay, that's it. Those are all the comic books I read for January 8th, 2014. Thank you for watching my video. Oh yeah, Marvel did in news today. Last night, Marvel did announce a new series they are relaunching. I did a little Spidey vlog iPad video about it. If it's not below me, I'll add an annotation somewhere in this general area. But yeah, thanks again for watching. Thank you again for subscribing to my channel. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.